About a month ago, I made a video on upgrading my sawhorses. It had a pretty good response, so I'm going to double down. In my last video, I ignored my existing sawhorses and just focused on this grid I put on top. It's made out of 2x4s with half flap joints that can easily be broken down and put away. It's great. You should make one. If you want to, check out this video right over here. One of the main concerns I read in the comment section of the last video was that the half flap joints would really weaken the boards and it just wouldn't be strong enough. This really hasn't been the case at all. It's been more than strong enough. Also, I just use these for breaking down material, staining, painting, and finishing my projects. I don't really ever foresee putting more than a couple sheets of plywood or a cabinet or two on there. It has more than enough strength for what I need. However, I would like to upgrade the actual sawhorses though. Now, I've had them for about 6 years, so obviously they've worked for me, but I wouldn't recommend them. They're made out of cheap metal. They're always going to have a little bit of slop to them.
You get your slop?
That said, I'm fine with the setup. It works. But maybe I can come up with a better option. So if these brackets aren't so great, why do people use them? 3 big reasons come to mind. They're cheap, they're quick to set up, and they require minimal tools or skills. I want to make an alternative to those metal brackets, so I'm going to try to meet those 3 criteria with my build. They're going to be made using 2x4s and screws. It's only going to take about half an hour of time and will only require a saw and a drill to build.
I'll start by taking my old sawhorses apart and removing the 30,000 screws that were embedded into them. Now, there are a lot of really strong and overly complicated sawhorses out there, which is great, but I'm going to try to keep these ones simple. One thing I know is that I don't need them to be foldable. They just need to be small enough to put off to the side when I don't need them. I'm taking off these old legs and reusing them, so I'm going to clean them up a bit, but obviously that's not needed if you're starting with new 2x4s. I've decided to make these a little bit shorter as well. Since I'll be cutting large sheets of plywood, it'll make it a little bit easier to reach across and make those cuts. Alright, with those boards cleaned up, I'm just going to cut them to length at 30 inches each.
Okay, so I have 12 pieces cut at 30 inches each. Now 3 pieces will make up one of the legs. So it'll be quite sturdy with 3 of them together there, and 2 of them are actually going to be offset up to receive the rail on the top, and then the base will be built around the bottom. You'll see what I mean in a bit here. Okay, next up is to screw these legs together. If you have some clamps, that'll help you out a bit. Otherwise, I'm just going to be using some 2.5-inch construction screws to put these together. Next up is to cut 4 more pieces at 20 inches and 8 more pieces at 8 inches. So I'll do that right now.
Now here I'm just pre-drilling some holes in the 8-inch pieces for the base. Probably not needed, but I just wanted to make sure that the wood wouldn't split as I was drilling it into the legs. And now to take those pieces and screw them to the bottom of the legs. Next up is to put the 20-inch pieces on the bottom, and I'll be screwing in those from the top. Once the 4 legs are built, they're ready to receive the rails on top.
So next up, I'm just going to be drilling some holes through here so I can secure my top rail in place.
Alright, and now to set it up with the rest of the grid I made. Now, there's a little wobble in the legs here, but that's just from my extremely uneven concrete floor. Once I move it into a better position, there is no wobble at all. One thing I might do though is add another board at the bottom between the 2 legs of each sawhorse, just to give it a little bit more stability. Alright, and there we have it. Now remember, the whole idea of having a grid on top was so that it could be completely flat, so I could break down plywood, throw a piece of cardboard on there, and finish projects. Also, the grid is pretty easily replaceable if I ever need to replace any of the individual boards.
And there you go. Are these the best sawhorses out there? No. But I think I met my 3 criteria of being cost effective, quick to build, and requiring few tools or skills to make. Also, I didn't look at any other plans before I made this. I just decided to figure out a way on my own. And that's kind of what I like about woodworking. It's creative, hands-on problem solving. And I know there's going to be a lot of opinions on how you would have done this differently, and I think that's great. Leave me a comment below letting me know how you would have approached this your own way. Overall, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It's going to be able to do exactly what I need it to do. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.